if a guy's hurt, is there kind of a code to say, hey, take it easy, something's wrong, or how does that whole exchange work between two guys who just decided to try to kill each other?
It's probably one of the funnier things in fights because you're literally trying to kill each other, but then as soon as the guy's like, hey, stop, my shoulder, and you're like, oh, okay, I'll stop. And like, I just was trying to mash your face in 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But there's a code because, at the end of the day, you're not fighting the guy for that reason. If he's hurt, he's hurt, and that's the last thing you want to do because there's, they got families, they have lives, and we're fighting for something not related to that. So I always try to have that respect. But in that fight, to me, it was more of a sending of a message. So I didn't want the fight to stop. So I didn't say, you don't say anything. It's a finger or two. I don't even, at the time the adrenaline's pumping anyway, and you get in the box, you worry about it after. But it's I definitely have been on both sides of it, and I think it's the right thing to do if somebody's injured, but not in that one.
Well, anytime there's a big hit, there's a ton of discourse about, was the hit clean? Should there have been a fight? You on the ice don't have a time to determine. You're not going to look up at the replay and then be like, all right, now I'm going to fight you. So what goes into that decision, whether to drop the gloves? And I think Smith knew sooner or later, all right, that was Connor Bedard. Did my job, clean, dirty, however you want to say. Yeah. But he knows he has to answer for that, right?
Absolutely. I'm never a guy that's like, oh, was it clean? Was it? It's the principle of the game. That's why I was talking about the game within the game earlier. Like, you're fighting for every inch of the ice. So when a player takes out one of your players, whether it's clean or dirty, and honestly, the hit was clean. Like it was. You could he hits him in his shoulder to his face. So I don't love that, but it's we also have to be aware of our as players also of putting yourself in those positions. So I get that, but he's our best player, and you're targeting our best player in aspect. And I know it's everyone. There's no favors out there, and that's the way it goes. But as a teammate, you're not going to let that team get an inch on one of your better players, and likely they wouldn't do the same for us. So to me, that's where it comes into the game within the game, and you're not allowed. Now that team thinks, oh, if we can hit him, we can hit anyone, or now they're playing bigger because we're not answering. So it's to send a message too, like, no, we have our pushback too. And I was so proud of Kurashev, to be honest with you, originally, and when the hit happened, he just didn't even think, went right up to him and started cross-checking him, and that's what I love to see. It's not, you don't have to fight a guy, it's just, what's the message in the room? How much do we really care about each other? If a guy goes down, are you willing to do, maybe you're not a fighter, but you're willing to step in there and put yourself in harm's way, and I think it just builds a real serious bond, and that's usually what successful teams have.
So I'm really interested in this because I think of this from the other side of it, right? Let's say you're on the ice and there comes Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby. You're doing a calculation in your head, I assume, too, of, all right, if I deliver this blow, someone's going to be in my face right away, right? And for the people that say, like, fighting doesn't work in hockey, doesn't deter anything, you can't quantify if a guy decided to lay a hit or not.
Yeah.
Right? And you are thinking about it. As a defender, you're saying, do I want to hit number 97 right now and get my face punched in, or am I going to let him go?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And that's a thought that's gone through my head, and it's what makes the sport kind of beautiful in a weird way, is that, you have that policing in itself, right? And if I do this, there's a response, there's a consequence sometimes, and I think that's why I think the sport is so unique and one of the best ways of bonding your team a lot of nights. So I've been on the side where you go after one of their guys, it's a playoff game or it's a game that you set the tone, and here comes somebody else trying to do it to you, or they go after one. So it's amazing how, and it brings everybody, their game, almost everyone's games elevates now because it's just it's a war, and that's why playoff hockey is so different than regular season. It's just, there's no friends out there. Not that there is even in the regular season, but there's a little bit more of a thought process sometimes.
We all silly like the mayor.